Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dragonlance. We're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about Dragonlance. We're going to talk about Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman, and we're going to talk about why Wizards of the Coast was right to not bring those original creators back for the new Dungeons & Dragons. All right. So if you ain't heard, Dragonlance is coming back. It's coming back this year. It was announced in D&D Direct, right? I'm very excited about it. I own the original Dragonlance hardcover, the Orange Spine Easily from D&D 1E from the 80s. I'm proud to own that book. It's very, very good. And I'm excited, right? But just so you're aware, Wizards of the Coast elected not to bring Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman back for the announcement. In fact, from everything I heard, they didn't even give them a call. They didn't even tell them it was coming out, right? Wizards of the Coast was right to proceed without the original creators. Here's why. All right, let's get into it, okay? There's several reasons. I'm going to talk about one of the reasons today. Payback is a switch. A couple years ago, Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman sued the Wizards of the Coast. And they were like, grumpity grump grump. We know that all of our success is due to D&D. I don't think anything we've ever done that was ever connected to D&D that wasn't connected to D&D ever had any success, or like at almost any level comparatively to our D&D projects. But here in our later years, we'd like to sue you, right? And I was like, okay, you might have, some kind of a, you might have some kind of a point here, but this is the end of your career. You're gonna put the dot on the exclamation point as a lawsuit to the company that literally created all your success for your entire life. That seems outlandish, an outlandish choice, right? An outlandish choice, right? Well, that lawsuit a few years ago got settled, right? Everything was smooth, right? It wasn't. Right, payback is a switch, right? You just think about it, right? If you are just a regular person, right, if somebody sues you, you gonna spend time with that person? You gonna do any projects with that person? Heck to the no, right? This is a payback for Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman suing Wizards of the Coast, the owners of Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons, the thing that literally made their lives, right? Nothing Tracy Hickman or Margaret Weis ever touched in their entire lives brought them more success than D&D. And so they're going to spend their elderly years biting the hand that literally fed them for decades. It don't make no sense. And here's the thing. And so I think what's happening right now is Wizards of the Coast has been like, you had your fun. Right, okay, we saw your little lawsuit. We're just gonna let you know before you die, Dragonlance is ours, and you can go kick rocks, right? And so the reality is, just so you're aware, I'm an evangelical Christian, so I already been done told this, right? It says in the good book, right? It goes, settle your dispute before you reach the justice, right? Because it ain't, and honestly, this was just bad from every single direction, right? What kind of money were they going to get at the end of their careers, and how much damage was it going to do, right? And I have to say, Wizards of the Coast is just trying to protect D&D and forward D&D, and almost every elderly creator that's attached to it ain't got nothing good to say about them, right? And so I kind of understand why Dungeons & Dragons is we got to make Dungeons & Dragons ours. And we need to remind everybody we own it all. It's all ours, right? And the reality is, and while there's lots of D&D then players, and there aren't lots, while there's this small community of D&D then players and this small community of D&D copy players, y'all's best know, real D&D, old D&D, now D&D, it's all Wizards of the Coast. They own it, and they are putting the stamp on it, right? And so the reality is, I think one of the primary reasons that Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weis did not get a call informing them that the new Dragonlance would be coming out, because WotC's like, you guys sued us 2 years ago. We ain't including you in anything. Shove off, right? So, you know, the lesson here is don't be litigious unless you got to absolutely have to. And I'll tell you right now, I watched a whole bunch of videos, and I'll tell you, it did not seem like they had any real complaints. It was not clear at all. Like, it sounded like there was like a dispute about 1 or 2 novels or something. There were 190 Dragonlance novels, right? You miss some residuals on a couple, and you're gonna break in half your own legacy? Don't be litigious unless you have to. Dungeons & Dragons teaches IRL lessons, and I think this is a big comeuppance on Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. It's a punishment. It's a punishment for getting salty, right? Be civil, and keep a civil tongue in your mouth, right? Because you will be punished if you don't, and this is proof. The world will punish you, right? Like, that's just my take. I'd love to hear your take. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.